According to author Peter A. Kirby, what's happening above us is no accident. In his work, Chemtrails Exposed, Kirby argues that today's geoengineering traces back to Cold War-era weather modification research, programs he calls a new Manhattan Project. He claims declassified documents reveal a hidden infrastructure, military operations, scientific institutions, and private interests allegedly working together to manipulate weather on a global scale. For Kirby, those persistent trails in the sky aren't just exhaust. He believes they're evidence of an ongoing covert operation deliberately concealed from the public. Whether you see a researcher uncovering buried truths or speculation outpacing the evidence, his theories continue to fuel one of the internet's most persistent debates. Rendlesham Forest Incident, 1980. U.S. Air Force personnel stationed in England walked into the forest that night and came back changed. In December 1980, soldiers near RAF Woodbridge reported strange lights descending into Rendlesham Forest. When they investigated, they found a triangular craft covered in strange symbols, radiating heat and light. One officer touched it and later claimed he received a stream of binary code directly into his mind. The next morning, investigators found burn marks on the trees and radiation levels far above normal. The military blamed a nearby lighthouse. The witnesses refused to accept it. Decades later, they still insist something landed in that forest, and someone doesn't want us to know what it was. Phoenix Lights, 1997. Thousands of people saw it, and the government still can't explain what drifted over Arizona that night. On March 13, 1997, a massive V-shaped formation of lights moved silently across Phoenix. Witnesses described it as over a mile wide, so large it blocked out the stars as it passed. Pilots, police officers, and ordinary families all reported the same thing. Something enormous, something silent, something that didn't belong in our sky. The Air Force later claimed it was flares from a training exercise, but flares don't glide in perfect formation. They don't blot out the stars, and they don't stay completely silent. Whatever crossed the sky that night was seen by an entire city, and no one has ever explained it. What if someone spent years investigating what's really happening in our skies? Peter A. Kirby is an independent researcher and author who's built a following writing about geoengineering, weather modification technology, and alleged government secrecy. His most notable work is Chemtrails Exposed, a new Manhattan Project, a deep dive into historical weather control programs and declassified documents. Supporters call him a dedicated investigator. Critics say his conclusions go far beyond the evidence. Controversial? Absolutely. But the questions he raises have sparked debates that won't go away. What do you think? Kelly Hopkinsville Goblins, in 1955. A terrified family ran to the police, claiming creatures with glowing eyes had surrounded their farmhouse. On August 21, 1955, in rural Kentucky, the Sutton family saw a bright object land in a nearby field. Minutes later, small beings with oversized heads and long, thin arms emerged from the darkness. For hours, the family fired shotguns at the creatures, but each time, the beings simply floated backward and returned. When officers arrived, they found shell casings scattered everywhere and a family too shaken to lie. No bodies were found, no craft was recovered, but something came to that farmhouse that night, and no one has ever explained what it was. According to author Peter A. Kirby, what's happening above us is no accident. In his work, Chemtrails Exposed, Kirby argues that today's geoengineering traces back to Cold War-era weather modification research, programs he calls a new Manhattan Project. He claims declassified documents reveal a hidden infrastructure, military operations, scientific institutions, and private interests allegedly working together to manipulate weather on a global scale. For Kirby, those persistent trails in the sky aren't just exhaust. He believes they're evidence of an ongoing covert operation deliberately concealed from the public. Whether you see a researcher uncovering buried truths or speculation outpacing the evidence, his theories continue to fuel one of the internet's most persistent debates. Travis Walton, abduction, 1975. He vanished in front of 6 witnesses and returned 5 days later with memories he still can't fully explain. On November 5, 1975, logger Travis Walton and his crew spotted a glowing disc hovering above the trees in Arizona. When Travis approached, a beam of light struck him and he collapsed. His co-workers fled in terror. For 5 days, search parties found nothing. Then Travis reappeared, disoriented, dehydrated, and haunted by fragmented memories of a cold, sterile room and beings with large, dark eyes. All 6 witnesses passed polygraph tests. The case was never solved. Travis still insists it wasn't a dream, and he has never stepped into those woods again. Humans have tried to control the weather for over a century. It started small, cloud seeding experiments in the 1940s, scientists firing silver iodide into storms, forcing rain from reluctant skies. Then came the Cold War. Project Storm Fury attempted to weaken hurricanes. Operation Popeye secretly extended monsoon seasons over Vietnam. Weaponized weather, later banned by the United Nations. But for some, the experiments never stopped. Today, skeptics point to patents, government documents, and programs like HAARP, questioning whether atmospheric manipulation has evolved far beyond what we're told. Weather modification was once conspiracy. Then it became history. The question now: how much of today's so-called conspiracy is tomorrow's declassified truth? Look up. Those white lines stretching across the sky, what are they, really? Some say they're just contrails. Water vapor freezing behind jet engines, harmless and temporary. But others aren't convinced. Skeptics point to trails that linger for hours, spreading into hazy blankets that dim the sun. They ask, why do some planes leave trails that vanish in seconds, while others seem to paint the sky permanently? For believers, it's evidence of covert spraying. Aluminum, barium, unknown particles raining down without consent. Officials call it debunked. Conspiracy theorists call it a cover-up. The jets keep flying. The lines keep forming. And the debate? It's nowhere close to settled.